This is the perfect way to teach your children the alphabet if you want them to become serial killers. Tonight's review is on the ABCs of Death 2. For those of you who don't know about the ABCs of Death, each film is comprised of 26 short films, each one by a different director, and each letter of the alphabet stands for the method of death, so spoiler alert, somebody dies in each short. Without question, this is one of the most ambitious concepts for a horror movie I've ever heard of. I love how much variety it brings to the table. I saw the first film a couple of years ago, and there were a few shorts in it that I didn't like. I mean, for example, I completely forgot what letter E was about immediately after the film was over, and then letter G in that film had to have taken little to no effort to make. But as a whole, I had a fun time with it, so I was looking forward to this movie. Another thing I like is how you don't actually find out what each letter stands for until the end of the segment, so it makes kind of a fun guessing game. And after watching the sequel, I have to say I think it's even better than the first film. There's only one short in this entire movie that I don't like, which I'll get into in a moment, and as an anthology that's in the horror genre, some of the shorts in the second film actually scared me. I mean, the first film was weird as hell, and it almost made me throw up a couple of times, beware of X and Y, but it was never scary. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and share my thoughts on each solitary short, but I would like to talk about the ones that stood out the most to me. Letter A is hilarious, but at the same time it would have to be the most miserable way to die, especially for someone who has claustrophobia like me. Letter D was the most unsettling and creepy short for me. Every single visual in this one looked like something straight out of a nightmare. In fact, I wasn't surprised to find out that it was based on a bad dream the director had as a child. Letter L is the only segment I don't like. The story is just confusing, and the second half of it displays this horrible monster suit that wouldn't have been passable in the 50s. Letter N has to be the most depressing segment in the film, which is crazy because it follows M, which has one of the funniest payoffs. They're perfect examples of the variety I mentioned. Also, Letter N is probably the first film directed by Larry Fessenden that I've seen and liked. Much like Oz Zombies, Letter O is a very unique take on the zombie subgenre. Letter P is how I would imagine David Lynch would have directed The Three Stooges, and I don't think you're going to guess what P stands for before the title comes up. This is a curveball. I think letter S has the most interesting visual style and probably the best twist. Letter T in the first movie was one of the craziest shorts and also one of my favorites, and that goes for this one as well. And those are all of the segments that stood out to me. ABCs of Death 2 has shorts that are gory, funny, scary, sad, disturbing, beautiful, or a combination of the six. I think that if you're interested in something which has variety to spare, then this one comes recommended highly. I hope y'all have a good one.